What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Life After Lockup Season 5, Episode 49, High Risk Lies. Let's talk about Rob and Tennie first. So Teenie's back at work. She is working as a paralegal slash legal assistant. So we see her in the office, I guess, if this was a real scene. She's in the office doing her thing. And Rob is at home with the kids. Now, Rob invites his mother over along with his brother, and Teenie had no idea. Now, Teenie found out that her mother-in-law came over through the security camera. So on her phone, she's got the security camera app, and she's watching everything go down through the security cameras. So the mother-in-law comes over. Teenie doesn't like it. She thinks it's disrespectful that Rob would invite his own mother to their home. I understand, this is your home and you want to know who's coming in and out, but this is also his mother. And Teenie probably would have said, hell no, your mom's not coming to my house. But anywho, Rob invites his mom over. His brother comes along as well. When his mother shows up, she hugs the kids and she apologizes to each of them. So Rob tells the kids to go inside the house so he can have a chance to talk to his mom. So he sits down with his mom and they start talking about, I forgot exactly how the conversation started, but somehow or another, the mother brings up the fight between her and Teenie. And Rob asked his mom, well, how did this fight even start? Because, we can't have two grown women going at each other like that. So how did this fight even start? So the mom says, well, Teenie put her hands on me. And Rob said, Mom, there's just no way that Teenie would have done that. That's not in her character. Teenie's not like that. I wish at that moment his mother would have told those producers, stop the cameras, bring up that tape, roll that tape back so this man can see exactly how that fight went down, because clearly, Teenie had put her hands on her mother-in-law first. She mushed that woman's face. And plus, on top of that, Teenie started the whole argument because she had to be petty. When her mom was kind of like, okay, go on, bye, we don't need you, I'm talking to my son. And she turned back around and got in her mother-in-law's face and was like, what is your problem with me, ma'am? And that's what started it all. So Teenie started the argument and she put her hands on her mother-in-law first. I understand that Rob probably missed all of that because he was trying to keep everybody apart. And it was a lot going on. It was too much going on. I totally get that. But I sure as hell wish that his mother would have told those producers, pull that tape back up right now and show my son exactly how that fight went down. You don't got to listen to me, Rob. I just want you to see how things actually played out. So it got me really upset when Rob was like, Teenie would never do that, when clearly we see that's how Teenie gets down. Teenie did that. Teenie would do that. It is all up in her character to do that. So while he's talking to his mom and he's telling his mom, oh, Teenie would never do that, da, 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 da. Teenie's like, that's right, Rob. She's talking to her phone. That's right, Rob. That's right, Rob. Teenie, you know you're wrong. You know that you are 100% wrong. You know you put your hands on that woman first. Now, I just want to be there when your husband sees, when he watches these episodes back and he sees that you put your hands on his mother first. I want to see Rob's reaction. I wish I could be there to see Rob's reaction at that moment. Moving on to Joey and Kimberly. Y'all, I'm so sick and tired of Joey and Kimberly. I am so sick and tired of Joey and Kimberly. Because even if Joey is not taking any drugs, Kimberly, you don't need to be with this man. Okay, he's got too much going on. So the last time that we saw Joey and Kimberly, they did a home drug test. The one that Kimberly had bought, when Joey took the test, it came up dirty for cocaine. Now, Joey denies taking cocaine. Kimberly doesn't understand why it would show positive for cocaine, because Joey does not exhibit any signs of someone who's using cocaine. For example, he's very lethargic. He can barely get out of bed. He's not very active. He's not very animated. And people who take cocaine are usually like going a million miles a minute, extremely energetic, a lot of energy, a lot of being, extremely hyper. So they're both confused. So Joey goes and he gets another test. So when he comes back in with the test, Kimberly says, oh, so that's where you went. You went to the store to get another test. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, so Joey, why didn't you just tell her that? Why didn't you just tell her, I'm going to go get another test? This test must be defective because I'm not taking cocaine. So I'm going to go to the store and get another test. But anywho, because she had no idea where he was. So he gets another test, he takes it, and then that test comes out completely clean on all substances. But Kimberly is still confused because she's like, but he's still exhibiting signs of someone who's using, because he hasn't been the same since he's been back home. There's something off about him. Well, the next time that we see Joey and Kimberly, she's dropping him off, or I don't know what was going on. I don't know. But anyway, Joey has to spend 90 days in rehab because when he was showing up for his PO appointments, he got drug tested and he came up dirty 3 separate times for THC. Now he's not smoking marijuana because that probably would have landed him in jail. Oh no, it's legal. I think she said it was legal in North Carolina. But the problem is you're not supposed to have any drugs in your system at all whatsoever when you go get drug tested. So he came up positive for THC 3 different times. So they sent him to rehab for 90 days. Kimberly's talking about how he's going to miss her birthday, miss the kid's birthday while he's gone into rehab, and she feels like a single mom all over again. This is the reason why, Kimberly, you need to just concentrate on you and your children and let this man try to get his life back together again. Once he is clean and once he's back on his feet and once he has a job, then y'all can reunite. But until then, go your separate ways, take care of what y'all got to take care of, because this right here is not healthy for the children. Because they show us a scene where Joey's talking to the boys and he's in rehab, right? He's already in rehab and the boys are wondering where he's at because they haven't seen him. And he tells the boys that he's on a job. He's away at work. And they're calling him daddy and all of this and that. Yeah, they're calling him daddy because Kimberly, you're forcing this man on these kids. I wouldn't be surprised if Kimberly is making her children call Joey daddy because she's so desperate to have this picture perfect family life, to get, a father figure back in her son's lives again. I wouldn't be surprised if she's forcing her kids to call this man daddy, because it doesn't seem like it's been that long where they would be comfortable calling this man daddy, but here they are. So her cousin comes over. This is the cousin that used to date Joey back in high school before Joey cheated on her with Kimberly. Her cousin comes over and she tells her cousin that Joey's in rehab for 90 days. And her cousin is like, maybe you need to move on from Joey. Maybe this isn't what's really good or healthy for y'all. Why not just leave Joey alone? Because there's other men out there. And Kimberly's like, no, Joey's the only man for me. Like, she refuses to break up with Joey. So then the cousin says, but you know that he's not in rehab because he wants to be in rehab. He's trying to make himself better. He's in rehab because he has to be. So if he's forced to go to rehab, he's probably not going to stay clean when he comes back out. But, Kimberly doesn't give a damn. So then Kimberly mentions that she got the DNA test, but she hasn't opened the envelope yet. So the cousin is like, why not? Why don't you want to know? And Kimberly says, well, I want to wait until Joey comes out of rehab, because if the results are not to his liking, it might, deter his recovery. And so the cousin's like, bump all that, girl. Where the hell is the test? So she goes and she gets the test. She gives it to her cousin. Her cousin opens it, and her cousin's jaw just drops. But we don't know the results until next week. Regardless of what the hell the results are, Kimberly, please break up with Joey. Allow him to get better. Allow him to get back on his feet as a working, self-sufficient, independent man. Then he's got something to bring to the table. Kimberly even said something about how right now she doesn't want to have to depend on anybody. You never had to depend on anybody other than your dad. We know that you didn't depend on Joey for a damn thing, because what is Joey offering you other than draining your account? Now, I've seen Kimberly on TikTok. She's lost a ton of weight. I think she's on Ozempic. She's lost a lot of weight. She's like very thin now. And her and Joey are still together. And, she's throwing it in everybody's face that her and Joey are still together. So hopefully Joey got 100% clean and he's working, hopefully. Moving on to Louie and Melissa. So Melissa's sister and Melissa's friend got into her head about that damn ring because they convinced her to go get the ring appraised because they were talking all this mess about that the ring is probably fake. If the ring is real, then Louie either stole the ring or he got it through some nefarious means or his mommy helped him get the ring. So she goes to an appraiser and the appraiser values the ring at $24,000, which is more than what Louis spent on the ring. So he actually got a deal on that ring, but he did drain out his savings to get that ring for her. So the now that it's confirmed that it's real, the friend now questions, well, how Louis got the money to get the ring. And then the friend asks Melissa, what did he go in jail for again? And Melissa said, I think she said, was it armed robbery? So now the friend is trying to put these thoughts into Melissa's head that Joey got the money through some type of illegal way because there's no way that he could have saved that much money to buy a ring like this. Like absolutely impossible. There's just no way at all. Now, what I'm confused about is has Melissa seen or not seen Joey working his butt off? Was he or was he not working his butt off? Like, why is Melissa doubting how Joey came about this ring, how he got the ring or he got the money for the ring? Why is she beginning to doubt it? Did she not see him working really hard? Because he works at the pizza parlor, he does social media, and he sells stuff on social media, and he's also a personal trainer. Because she should have told her friend, yeah, it's of course he's been saving his money because he's been working his butt off. She was even complaining, was it last week? She was even complaining that she doesn't see enough of him because he's so busy working. So why didn't she shut her friend up and be like, girl, don't you dare talk about my man like that because I see him busting his butt, breaking his back, okay, trying to make money. I see him working hard. So shut up. That's what she should have done. But instead, what does she do? She runs to Louie because her friends got her all concerned and worried now. Oh, and another thing. The jeweler told her that the ring was missing the etching or the stamp on the band that says how many carats it is. Because for it to be like real, for the metal to be real, like real gold or real platinum or whatever, it has to have that stamp on it that says whether it's, 10 carat, 18 carat, 24 carat, whatever. So the jeweler tells her, it's illegal in the jewelry business for a metal to not have that stamp. It has to have that stamp. It's not like the cops are going to come running or the FBI is going to come knocking on your door, but it should have that stamp. So Melissa's worried. She goes to Louie and she says to Louie, well, I went to an appraiser because, my sister and my friend were telling me that maybe the ring isn't real or whatever. So I went to an appraiser and the appraiser looked at the ring and said that it's missing that mark on it, that the stamp to show like the weight of the metal. And so Louis like, okay, so you went to an appraiser because basically you doubted that the ring was real. You think I'm going to give you a fake ring? And then Louis says, okay, so how much did they appraise it at? And Melissa tells him 24,000. And so then Louis like, but that's not good enough for you. You thought that I either stole it or I bought it, in the back of somebody's truck or something. So I'm really offended that you thought that I got this ring through some type of illegal way. Like you have no trust in me. You don't believe in me at all. And so Melissa's like, oh, it's not that, Louis. It is that, Melissa. It's exactly that. You let your chicken head friend and your chicken head sister get into your head. Now you're doubting Louis. Okay, this man who you would have fought and killed for. Now you're doubting Louis, thinking that he probably stole this ring or whatever. You really entertained the idea that Louis could possibly do something illegal and risk his freedom for a ring. That says a lot about you, Melissa. I can't wait until his mom learns about this. Moving on to Troy and Zaria. So last week, it was Community Day. Okay, whatever the hell that is for Zaria's nonprofit, and it was also their anniversary. And little Troy, which is Troy's daughter, was coming into town to spend time with him to spend time with him for Community Day or whatever. So little Troy and her grandmother Troy's mother arrive at the train station. They're waiting for Troy to come pick them up. But he gets so caught up with fighting with Zaria, running around with Zaria. Zaria done left him at the damn grocery store parking lot because she thinks that he was texting somebody. So she left him at the parking lot. The producers had to come take him home. He had to ride in the back of the trunk of the van um when they came to get him to take him back home. It's just a big mess. So he's dealing with Zaria and all of her shenanigans. He's late picking up his daughter. So the mother gets upset and calls him and says, you know what? Don't even worry about it. We're going back home. We're not even going to stay. As he was trying to go to the train station to pick up his daughter, Zaria was telling him, you're not going anywhere. You're going to stay right here and flip these burgers for these people because it's community day. So he's late picking up his daughter. The mom takes the daughter back home. And that was the end of that. And I was like, Zaria, how are you going to tell this man that he cannot go pick up his child who's waiting for him at the train station? That was priority number one. That was more important than community day. That was more important than your damn anniversary, was him to go get his child. And Zaria, where's your child? Where's your kid? That's what I'm trying to figure out, because we didn't see hide or tail of her son. I feel like we see little Troy more than we see Zaria's son. So he missed out on picking up his daughter, and at that point, Troy should have been so pissed and aggravated at Zaria. He should have given Zaria the business, front and back, for her getting in the way of him spending time with his child. He should have given her the business. But instead, because he's such a simp for this woman, and she's got him wrapped around her little finger, he just goes on back and starts, flipping burgers for community day. As if, like nothing happened. I'm like, Troy. Now, I've seen Troy online. He's defending Zaria because people are coming after her hard. And he's defending his wife, talking about, y'all leave my wife alone. And, it's just a TV show. What y'all see isn't really how it really is. They're just making her look like that on TV. No, they're not. That woman told you you're not going anywhere as you were leaving to go pick up your child, which you still should have done. You should have taken a taxi, an Uber, a Lyft, a horse and carriage, a donkey, a something to go get your child. So the next time that we see Troy and Zaria, they're at the park and they're waiting for Yanni to show up with little Troy. But only Yanni came without the daughter. So as soon as he sees Yanni, Troy says, where's my daughter? And Yanni says she's not here. So then Yanni gets on his case because I'm assuming of what happened, with him not picking up his daughter, and probably broke the little girl's heart that her daddy didn't come pick her up at the train station. Couldn't see her daddy at all. And so Yanni got on his case about all of that. And he doesn't want to hear it. He just wants to go see his daughter. So he gets up and he's walking towards Yanni's car, thinking that maybe little Troy is in the car. And Yanni tells him, stay away from my car. So as he's walking towards her car, Yanni tells Zaria, you better get your man, get your husband, because he ain't got no business going to my car. Zaria tells Yanni, that's your baby daddy. I don't got nothing to do with that. Okay, keep that same energy, Zaria, when he wants to go see his daughter in Yonkers or Syracuse or wherever they're at. Keep that same energy when he wants to go see his daughter without you. You can talk about, that's your baby daddy, that don't got nothing to do with me. But we know that Troy would never do that without Zaria's permission. He will never go see his daughter without Zaria's permission. Moving on, Michael and Justine. So Justine she's at the doctor's appointment. She's getting another ultrasound. The doctors tell her that the baby is still measuring kind of small. And so they want to deliver earlier than expected because they're not sure if the baby is small. Maybe because the baby's not getting enough nutrients from the placenta. So everything has to be moved up. Now they were going to have the birthday party for Manhattan, but the baby's going to come before the birthday party. Okay, so fine. So now things are getting serious because the reason why she's high risk is because of the fact that she's had so many C-sections and she just had a baby. Her uterus is very weak, I guess. It's really worn out. It's tired. Her uterus is tired as hell. So they're worried that if they go in to do another C-section, she might hemorrhage to death. So it's getting serious. She's going to be delivering ASAP. And Michael tells her, call your mom because, something might happen. We want your mom to be here. My mom is here. Your mom should be here. So Justine didn't even want to call her mom because her and her mom basically hate each other. So she very reluctantly calls her mother and tells her mom, Mom, can you catch a flight and come here right now? Because I'm having an emergency. And her mom is like, what's going on? And she's like, can you just come? I'm having an emergency. It's an emergency. Can you come? And her mom was like, well, you're not telling me what the emergency is. So then the conversation went left. The mom ends up hanging up the phone on Justine. And Justine tells Michael, do I even have to tell her what the emergency is? If I say it's an emergency, that should be enough. Yeah, if you and your mom had a normal relationship, that would be enough. But Justine, you know that you and your mom don't have a normal relationship. So you calling her out of the blue, talking about, can you catch her? Can you come here now instead of when you plan to come? And you're not giving her any specifics. And y'all already don't like each other. Yeah, she's going to question what the hell you're talking about. And if I told my mom I have an emergency, I need you here now. First of all, I wouldn't sound that blasé. I'd be like, I really need you to be here. I'm having an emergency. My mom would be there. My mom would even ask before I even get a sentence out. My mom would be on her way. Okay, she wouldn't even have to know what the details are. She'll find out when she shows up. Yeah, in a normal situation. But you and your mom are not in a normal situation, Justine. I didn't see anything wrong with her explaining to her mom, I'm delivering the baby early. Because I'm high risk, I might not make it. So I want you here. Then leave it up to your mom to either, be a jerk about it or to do what a mother is supposed to do and rush over there and be by your side. Daniel and Bianca. Okay, so the friend Haley finally meets Daniel, and Haley is really worried because Daniel had relapsed in prison, and so she's worried about him possibly relapsing again because Bianca's not going to be able to handle it. And Daniel reassures the friend, I'm not going to relapse. I don't have that option to relapse. I'm going to do what I need to do to stay clean. Okay, the next day, Bianca goes to get breakfast. Haley and Daniel are talking, and they're talking about the future of Daniel and Bianca's relationship. Haley's like, look, Bianca wants to be married with the white picket fence and all of that. She has very high expectations for this relationship. Can you deliver? And Daniel's like, I'm not really sure. I'm not even sure that me and Bianca are on the same page when it comes to all of that. So the friend is kind of like, if you're not really feeling it, you need to end it now instead of later because she's just going to be more hurt if you break up with her later. If y'all are not on the same page and you're not feeling what she's feeling, you need to end it now. Daniel says he's going to stay in this until he no longer believes in that. I'm like, what type of Hallmark crap is this, Daniel? What are you talking about? If you're not feeling what she's feeling right now, then maybe you should end it. Haley is worried that Daniel is possibly using Bianca. She says, you're just gonna let her take care of you and whatever. Basically, you're just using her because you're not feeling what she's feeling. You don't see the future the way she sees the future, but you're still here. So it's like you're just using her. So Daniel is like, no, I'm not using her. Blah, 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 whatever, whatever. I have nothing really to say about this relationship because I'm just like, I don't know why either one of them is staying with the other. Nothing is going on between Daniel and Bianca. They're unsatisfied in so many areas of their relationship. Intimacy is a problem. They can't talk without arguing. They see things differently as far as where this relationship is going. One feels more for the other than the other one does. It's just like I'm not even sure why they're together. This makes no sense to me at all whatsoever. Makes zero sense. On top of that, Bianca not wanting to stop drinking, to help Daniel's sobriety. They have so many issues. I don't know why they're still together. I don't get it. I really don't get it. So I can't talk about it that much because I don't understand it. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later.